At this time of year, when people take a moment to rejoice in my birth, my darling child, I draw you near with words of boundless compassion as I talk to you. In the midst of all the joy and celebration, let your heart discover the deeper meaning behind the simpler joys that once shone from a simple stable. As you reflect on the little baby in the manger, realize that my strength has never wavered and my affection has never matured. In fact, I have always been and always will be. Chill, halt the chaos for a second and come closer to me, envisioning a tapestry spun across generations that whispers my vow. I have been here since the dawn of time and will continue to be here after all sunsets have passed. The stars' ebb and flow represent my sustaining hand, and I dare you to contemplate the implications of my decision to enshroud myself in the frailty of human form, immersing myself in your narrative to such an extent that my footprints may be seen in the soil. This season, hearts have turned to me as a baby, yet from the first breath of existence, I have built incalculable universes and mountains that reach into the skies. Wrapped in a blanket, that image may evoke a mix of awe and a twinge of sadness in your spirit. It's a profound tragedy that the creator of life succumbed to the forces of nature. Throughout my life on earth, my goal was to unite the majesty of God with the frailty of humanity, so that you would know how much I cherish you and that I would never leave you. Despite the abundance of diversions around you, I'm not confined to a distant area or hidden behind temple curtains. Rather, I am among you, ready to provide the solace and hope you need. No matter how hectic your days are and how tired your heart is, you may find solace in the knowledge that I am fully here in each instant. You are being renewed, guided, and sustained by the same force that brought new stars into being. As you gather this season, think about how it might bring you a greater sense of my presence. In the company of loved ones or in solitude contemplating joy, sorrow, the giving and receiving of presents, and the sharing of meals, I am there in every act of generosity which reflects my. I want you to know how much I care about every aspect of your life, from the most joyful moments to the most mundane worries. My compassion shines through in every tender gesture I make. Take care of everything with steadfast dedication as we celebrate my arrival. May your soul find solace in the knowledge that I am eternal, even if your intellect may fail to conceptualize. I am familiar with your joys and sorrows, and I am prepared to lead you through every valley and mountain you will encounter. Trust that I can see your future as clearly as you can see your past, and that I will be your steady companion throughout eternity. No matter what's going on in your life, you can always depend on me. When concerns about the future start to weigh you down, remember that I have intertwined your fate with my redemptive plan. Feel free to confide in me whenever you're feeling overwhelmed by sorrow. I'm not cold or uncaring. I was aware of every flaw, and I chose to step into a manger role because I am very compassionate, and the fact that I embrace you completely, even at your most vulnerable moments, is proof of that. At their lowest moments, may this season bring a new sense of awe and wonder to your spirit, as the world stood still to see the miracle of my birth. May your heart find the tranquility to really feel my peace. Keep in mind that just as my existence is a mystery that has no beginning or end, so too is yours, held in hands that never tire, much like the lights in windows. As you listen to the melodies that float over the air, know that they are only reflections of the greatness that I offer. May they serve as a gentle reminder that I am with you, ready to illuminate your path through life's darkest hours. I am the one who can calm your concerns, fulfill your goals, and grant your aspirations. May your thankfulness grow not only for the season's festivities, but for the eternal fact that I am with you always. No matter what happens in the world, my love and invitation to spend more time with you will never waver. I have etched you into my eternal plan, and I will never stop loving you. In the grand scheme of things, My love for you is unending, and nothing can ever take its place. I came into your world in the greatest. I came into this world in a delicate manner, a baby unable to move or talk, yet even then, I stayed true to my divine essence and, in the beginning, my everlasting strength may seem at odds with my unchanging, delicate nature. But it is the very enigma I want you to consider. The one who arranged the stars in their orbits likewise felt the burden of. With the help of these frail limbs and the oxygen from the air we breathe, I pledged my undying devotion to being by your side every step of the way. Instead of towering over you, when you see me as a kid, I know that my power did not diminish any aspect of my divinity. I rescued the cosmos with a single phrase when everything seemed lost or dilute. This may be too much to understand, but I hope you'll embrace it was all for love. Love so profound that it necessitated penetrating the delicate human condition, that paradox became imminent and the infinite became limited. Ponder on the importance of this, the great I Am, for a second as a narrative, to show an intimacy that words cannot express. Allowing himself to feel human frailty was an act of more than just empathy. It was the act of being totally human that tied his heart to yours in a new manner. By entering your domain, I demonstrated that nothing, not distance, not the gulf, nor brokenness, could prevent me from drawing near to you, despite the fact that I knew you faced fears every day. I know well the reality of your daily existence, including the fragility you experience, and I have tasted it even at my highest strength. Being among you was never meant to be a substitute for, not to diminish your uniqueness or autonomy, but to unveil my profound need to join in your triumphs and tragedies, and in my divine essence I am able to overcome obstacles. In my human nature, I have experienced both joy and sorrow, hunger and bloodshed, and both are real and valid. In the midst of this harmony, which beyond all understanding, you will discover the whole of my heart, which is home to both celestial beings and mortals. But the perfect harmony of the celestial and terrestrial realms. When you encounter moments of mental struggle, you may be tempted to diminish my essence to something you can understand or explain away. But I implore you to release this grip. Rather of being confused, let the vastness of my divine and human natures captivate you in awe. This will lead you to realize the very act of marveling at the world around us has the power to bring us closer as friends. When we do, we create space for trust. And when we do, we open our hearts to one another, which in turn makes. I chose to embody a human form because, contrary to popular belief, it allowed my love to heal and rejuvenate. The fact that I was prepared to shrink in size demonstrates my enduring compassion. Yes, I did, in fact, lay the groundwork for planets. Though I walked away from the shadows, I became a part of your tale, standing shoulder to shoulder with you and others who share your anguish, sorrow, and hope. No throne is too high for me to conquer. Leave, if it means offering solace to a troubled soul. Consider the enormity of this gift, the eternal Creator, who is just like you, vulnerable, yet not giving up a single bit. By following this road, you may rest confident that I will always understand and care for you, even when you mumble a prayer in tears. I also know the pain you feel when you celebrate When you come to me in times of uncertainty, I am not aloof and imposing, but rather I am empathic because I have been where you are. My nature remains. I am the solid foundation of truth. I am also the source of all mercy. The reality of my strength and grace are in perfect harmony with one another. The incarnation occurs when you take hold of me in this manner. It is a love that cannot distinguish between grandeur and humility. It is a love that can contain the whole cosmos. Stable but tender enough to embrace the human spirit. That is the unwavering truth I offer you. My divinity is ever present, radiating through. My meager imprints on the sandy paths that previously led you to wholeness and everlasting hope I choose to leave behind the splendor that around me in realms. In a place unseen by most, I traded the radiance of heaven for the humble hay and dust of a makeshift shelter. There, I shared the air you do, felt the cold of the night, and joined the human narrative as a helpless child. Rely on others for warmth and nutrition. This act of humility is a mystery, but it tells volumes about my compassion. Some could regard it as a sign of weakness, but I see it as a profound act of humility. I am here to answer the questions of every lonely or neglected soul. I ask you to see the depth of my heart's desire to be near them. When considering God's humble role, it could seem paradoxical that the glue that keeps the universe together would choose to enter the earth with a group of barn animals and rustic environment. But my decision was everything from haphazard. Rather, it was an intentional message to you and everyone else who reads this narrative that my love has no bounds. Instead of focusing on my own income or social standing, I have chosen to stand in solidarity with the poor, empathizing with their plight and meeting their basic necessities. Pause to think about the gravity of descending from the heavenly realm, where angels forever shout praises, to live among humans who may ignore or reject you. For me, it wasn't a cry for help or surrender. Rather, it was an acceptance of a vulnerable human form capable of experiencing pain, hunger, and tiredness, so you would know I am prepared to comprehend your inner limits. Yet in this act of humility, my goal shone through to unite heaven and earth, eliminating. I broke the misconception that power must always look grand or threatening when I arrived in this fashion, shattering walls that appeared impassable. True power is founded in love. I didn't want to wow you with cosmic strength, but rather to demonstrate that God is capable of tenderness and humility and longs for a personal relationship with you. Experiencing life at the most basic level imaginable is the best way to connect with other humans, and in every human narrative, there are times when we feel little. No matter how inconsequential you may think my humble birthplace is, it serves as a constant reminder that I see immense worth in the unassuming parts of your life. Instead of seeking the approval of powerful people, I've decided to show up in unexpected places, urging you to look for holiness where you never thought you'd find it. If you give this fact time to sink in, you'll see that the little things you do for me, like cleaning up after a storm, mean as much to me as the biggest dreams I've ever had. I searched out the destitute, the downtrodden, and the disadvantaged, showing them that they need not need a high position or a perfect life to approach me. My example challenges you to see yourself in the same way as treasured persons, embracing the broken and the tired, and letting each one know they were not just objects of pity, but loving beings created with meaning and purpose. This link between heaven and earth, which is born of humility, is not a means to express love for others, particularly those who feel invisible or worthless. Moment in time. It's a continual invitation to find me in the unexpected, in the recesses of your soul, in the ordinary tasks that occupy. During your days, I am always at your side, subtly making my presence known. The humility you display toward each other, whether through acts of kindness, generosity, or patience, reflects back to you. I have always shown that these kinds of events are pathways from where you are to the safety and comfort of my everlasting kingdom. So when you think of I came to you as a humble newborn because I wanted to show you that everything about this time had a purpose. I entered your constraints as an act of empathy so that I could speak to your innermost aspirations. It was a gesture of kindness reaching out to individuals who question their significance in a fast-paced society. And most importantly, it was a love gesture intended to show that my love for you is not distant, but rather rooted in your own journey through this plan, where modesty was never seen as a weakness, but as a strength. In a most magnificent manner, I let my feelings be known, bridging the divide between the majesty of heaven and the longings of the human spirit. I gave my life so that you can escape the shackles. I did this out of an infinitely great love. From the beginning of time, I saw the need of a sacrifice to replace you, and We both knew that no amount of money could ever mend the rift that had grown between us, and we both understood that nothing less than our undivided attention would do. Due to my identification with you and my willingness to take on your characteristics, I was able to help you through your trials and provide you with a wonderful gift that transcends all understanding. Imagine yourself as the only provider of life's information, standing before a trial where every one of your shortcomings is exposed. The weight of this seemingly insurmountable burden weighs heavily on your soul. Imagine me coming forward, not just as an impartial observer, but as someone who has been where you are, and with words brimming with empathy, I promise to carry your burdens. Herein is the crux of my accomplishment. I bore the weight of every judgment that loomed over you, so that you may stand fearless before the throne of grace. I have never been obligated in any way. Rather, it has always been a free-willed expression of the same love that ignited creation. Consequently, I do not view you with disapproval, eagerly anticipating your blunders. Just so I can turn the tables on them, I can tell them that I see the potential in you, that you are unique, and that your soul is beautiful. By giving myself, I broke the cycle of blame and fear may be broken, allowing you to find true peace. No human sacrifice could have been more effective or healing if you ever doubt your value, think of this selfless act of love. When you can't understand the depth of my affection, consider the price I gladly paid. Let the reality of that sink into the stillness. My sacrifice was not intended to make you feel obliged, but rather to welcome you into a relationship free from the burden of your history, reminding you that your life was treasured beyond all wealth. I want for your heart to be free from the chains of regret and set free by the power of forgiveness, so that it may really live. Some may question whether I have suffered this for only a few, but my heart is suffering, reaches out to every living being. I have not ignored any population, regardless of how well known or unrecognized they may be. In this vast and diverse world, I do not discriminate on the basis of social standing or material accomplishment. Rather, my love is unconditional and extends to all people. Most necessary, turning even the most hopeless locations into havens of light. Nevertheless, do not assume that the sacrifice I made prevents me from achieving my goal. Trusting that my sacrifice is sufficient fosters intimacy and connection, even if it's not always easy to put aside your own efforts to prove yourself or gain. It is my sincere desire that you accept my invitation. I have already removed all obstacles that stood in our way. Now, all that is left is for you to take the first step. Forward with the assurance that my arms are wide open, letting your heart rest in the knowledge that what I accomplished was final and complete. There will be no more transactions. There is no need for you to demonstrate your value. I have seen you at your most vulnerable and still choose you. In the depths of your soul, you have the ability to. In times of overwhelming remorse, take solace in the knowledge that my sacrifice atones for all your shortcomings, cures all your wounds, and mends all your regrets. It gives you new life. In times of deep sadness, remember the cross and find solace in my extended arms. Let my grace be the decisive factor. You are no longer rejected or dismissed because of the power that molds your identity. Rather, you are loved, appreciated, and valued beyond all else. At the core of my connection with you is this flawless gift, which serves as a reminder that love is willing to sacrifice all for its object. I ask you to embrace the gift of hope that I have given you, and let this truth penetrate your mind and heart through every season and hardship. This is the most heartfelt act of devotion I could possibly perform, born out of thankfulness rather than fear. May it serve as a lighthouse guiding you towards a future filled with grace, free from the gloom of. Yesterday, I kindly request that you take a moment to reflect on the myriad of holiday presents that may entice you. Brightly colored boxes nestled under twinkling trees, joyous delicacies exchanged among close ones, and dazzling ornaments that fill rooms with joy. But although these celebration symbols provide their own special joy, I implore you to look beyond them and recognize the real gift I am offering, one that will never fade or shatter. Over time, it becomes more profound, a benefit that goes beyond boundaries and touches the very essence of who you are. It is the abundant, forgiving blessing. Forgiveness might bring to mind images of everlasting life and an immense legacy that your intellect struggles to fathom. Opportunity to make amends from someone you've harmed. My forgiveness goes beyond that. I'll erase your sins as far away as the east is from the west. West, in that boundless expanse, you won't discover any trace of your previous mistakes to drag you down or evidence of your shortcomings to impede your progress. I don't keep score or keep list after list of your flaws, but instead I see you through the loving eyes of Christ, who sees your frailties but still welcomes you into his arms with unbridled mercy. Irreplaceable gem that no material thing can compare to. Think about the fact that life goes on, and my vow to you goes up beyond thee. In me, within the delicate constraints of mortality, you find hope that transcends the passing of time and the sunrise and sunset. When I talk of everlasting life, son, I mean a quality of existence full of contentment, pleasure, and the knowledge that you are loved and recognized. In the face of adversity, this is more than just a temporary reprieve. It's a guarantee of connection with your Creator, even as you navigate the ups and downs of this life with a firm foundation. Standing on the doorway of a kingdom brimming with kindness every time, my unlimited grace and the inheritance I bestow go hand in hand. Nothing can uproot them. Jewels that mirror my character, love, compassion, holiness, and justice, I encourage you, as an heir, not as a frightened person, to share in these riches. Stranger, but as a beloved child accepted into my home, this is not some faraway hope for the hereafter. It starts the minute you let your heart open to my presence. Every moment is a chance for personal growth, and you are interwoven into a magnificent story. I see your anxieties, aspirations, and concealed desires. If you ever feel that you don't deserve the gift I offer, or that my care isn't necessary because of your faults, please know that I really regret it. You are not disqualified from receiving my love. Rather, I extend an invitation to everyone, believing that I will not withhold my generosity from those who have not led perfect lives. Once you embrace this precious gem, you come to terms with the deep reality of belonging and realize that nothing material can ever make up for the emptiness that was always there. Connection with the divine. See this season as a time to rejoice in that blessing. Not just for a day, but for each and every one of your breaths and heartbeats that. In the stillness that follows, when the bustle of life fades away, let your heart open to the knowledge that I am always close by, and may every kindness serve as a symbol of my compassion. Behold the enormity of what I have laid out before you. There are no catches, no difficult requirements. I offer you my forgiveness, my everlasting vow, and the kingdom's treasures are offered to you as an invitation to enter a life that has been changed by grace. Maybe you've ever questioned whether anything is actually worthwhile. Ever-changing circumstances make it seem like nothing stays the same, and what gleamed once might now look dull. However, this present I am offering defies the passage of time and radiates with A. While the gathering's food and wrapped presents may only be there for a season, my giving extends into immortal brilliance that is unaffected by change. In the core of your being, I am the God who perpetually renews your soul, bringing a delight that the passage of time cannot diminish, because it is rooted in my identity as A. He takes great joy in blessing his children with pleasant things, so relax and take it easy. You have been forgiven a great deal and welcomed into an endless. You have been entrusted with a legacy and entered into a relationship that is more valuable than any treasure under the sun. May the wisdom of my loving pursuit illuminate your days as you contemplate how These realities make the greatest legacy. My grace has sustained you when you were weak. My compassion has followed you even when you strayed, and my fidelity remains unshaken by your uncertainties. Treasure that surpasses all earthly offerings. When you open your heart to it, you will discover a wellspring of life that flows even after all the candles have burned out. After all the decorations have been taken down and put away, and the seasons have faded into recollection, this is the priceless present I am giving you, forever serving as a constant reminder that you are embraced by a love that is more powerful than any tempest and more abundant than any material possessions. I cordially encourage you to bask in the light that emanates from my presence. Even when your circumstances seem unclear or your heart is burdened with worry, my light penetrates all boundaries to touch your innermost being. I am never. Calm the chaos around you, take a few deep breaths, and let me be the one to lead you down the pathways you haven't even seen yet. In the stillness, you will feel my consoling presence, which speaks volumes without expressing a word, allowing yourself to experience the soft warmth of my nearness. The obstacles you encounter may seem insurmountable when seen from the perspective of your own might. Yet my light is powerful enough to dispel even the shadowiest of them. But when you let your guard down, my light shines through and shows you the way forward, so you don't have to waste time fumbling about in the dark. I can show you the way from the start to the finish, so you don't have to worry about losing your bearings or making the wrong decision. Your presence is more than just a halo around you. It is a force that can change you from the inside out. When you lean on me, I can smooth out your thoughts, making them less rigid. My light shines into dark places, reawakening hope where despair has taken hold, lighting a fire of joy where fear previously reigned, and bringing clarity where confusion has spread. I want you to know that I will never make fun of you for being vulnerable or weak. On the contrary, I value your honesty and candor, because it is in that vulnerability that my light may shine through and mend wounds. Through the luminous understanding of my identity, you learn that there is so much more to life than beyond the mundane or a to-do list. As we go side by side, each step may reveal marvels you never knew existed. All it takes is paying attention. Experiencing the first rays of morning or taking a moment to enjoy a friend's laughter takes on a deeper significance when you can see my imprint in every moment. At times you could feel uncomfortable approaching me because you feel overshadowed, yet my light will let you realize the beauty in the ordinary moments we share. Through all the ups and downs, triumphs and tragedies, I know your story inside and out, and I promise you that no darkness is too deep for my light to shine through. I get close to you, despite my shortcomings, in order to demonstrate that my grace always triumphs over your shortcomings. Have faith that you are always welcome in. I am here not because of your accomplishments, but because of my nature as the deity of unfaltering kindness and compassion. As you bask in my light, you will also find solace in the knowledge that no matter how lonely you feel or how far away your loved ones seem, my soul is always by your side. In the quiet after a sincere prayer or during the stillness of the morning, you may hear my whisper more clearly than your own breath. This heavenly company is. My presence is always there for you, whether you're standing on a mountaintop of joy or in a valley of doubt, not just at occasions of ritual devotion. Although this world is aware of brokenness, my light remains unwavering, and I pray that this knowledge may change your perspective on the difficulties you may face. By your side through thick and thin, showing you the route to overcome obstacles, uncovering chances to be compassionate and understanding, my mission in life is, in the middle of adversity, I want to be a light, not a shadow, so that you may know that love, bravery, and hope can triumph over anything. So, stay with me, and let me hear your struggles. My compassion never wanes, my patience never waneth, and in the peaceful embrace of my light, my troubled thoughts may rest, or you can let your tears speak the tale of your heart. Relax, even if you can't see the whole path ahead of you. Have faith that the light that will illuminate your path will never go out, and in that light you will discover the strength to regain faith in miracles, the consolation to overcome past hurts, and the insight to see my hand in your life, directing and encouraging you in everything that you do. As you get closer, I ask you to let go of the whirlwind of demands and distractions that surround you. In this peaceful place, let your mind. As you get close to me, my healing power may flow through you, revitalizing you in subtle and profound ways. Breathe in my presence, Spirit. Something that may have felt stiff or exhausted starts to loosen, and something that seemed broken or hopeless starts to heal. This change doesn't happen overnight, not by coercion, but by your choosing to be here with me, allowing my love to permeate your whole being as you pause to contemplate the tranquility. Picture each breath. Breathe in a new feeling of potential with each exhale, releasing tension as I offer soothing truths to your heart, gently reminding. Always remember that you are valuable, even when you feel overwhelmed by the pressure to perform to a higher standard, be more perfect, and progress at an unsustainable rate. It's enough to be in my company. There's no need for you to earn my undivided attention. Instead, I hope you'll take a moment to reflect on how much I love and appreciate you. I understand how life may steal your serenity by piling on concerns and unknowns. But I want you to know that my strength is bigger than any obstacle. As you release, you create space for my spirit to revitalize your thoughts and feelings, and I will take care of all your worries, big and little. Enhance your viewpoint. This change is not sudden nor often spectacular. Rather, it is frequently a subtle revelation, a feeling of calm where there was before. Tension or a fresh perspective that reframes old problems every time you become aware of these shifts. Recognize them as the ripple effects of letting my presence permeate your whole being, including your physical form. In response to my offer to rest in me, you may feel the tension in your muscles release, your heart rate slow down, and the shape I gave you take on a more serene quality. Miraculous vessel that can endure both adversity and triumph. When fear grips you, remind yourself that I am close by, and I will breathe strength into your limbs, nurture them, and restore your vigor. As you focus on my promises, allow them to revitalize you. In this peaceful moment, sense how your heart rate matches the steady beat of my constant attention. You are more than just a machine or a list of things to do. You are a treasured creature meant to thrive in my nurturing care. No wound is too deep for me to fix, and my touch is delicate and never forced. So even when you feel like your heart is heavy with wounds and regrets that will never heal, I will be here. My comforting embrace gently but gradually seeps into those guarded areas when you let down your guard and acknowledge the truth of your suffering. What? Healing may not occur immediately, but every day spent in my presence brings the hope of a fresh start. For whatever was previously concealed may be illuminated by my grace and handled with kindness. Gradually, as wounds become tales of healing, your mind may also be a site of fierce conflicts where ideas could. If you'll let me in, I will calm your fears and anxieties and put an end to your periods of self-doubt and perplexity. May the power of my words reverberate inside you, bringing to mind the inherent worth you possess as we journey toward greater understanding of myself and your place in my eyes. My view gives you a bird's-eye view of the chaos, allowing you to look past your current problems and into the future, where you are called to love yourself and others around you. When you come to me, everything, body, mind, and spirit, converges in a peaceful surrender because you trust in my unfailing hand. My rejuvenation is comprehensive. It takes into account every facet of your life and stitches them together into a masterpiece of grace and purpose. When you look back, you will see that it was all worth it. Witness the miraculous transformation of challenging times into stepping stones to personal development. As you progress, you will realize that you are never really alone. I am with you through thick and thin, in every valley and across every mountain. Embrace the gift of rejuvenation by taking a little break from the demands of the world and concentrating on the mountaintop inspiring optimism that lies at the heart of each stride. I provide my restorative power, pulling your complete being closer to the one who has loved you from the moment of your conception during these precious moments. You will become more fully alive and attuned to the divine grace that encompasses every moment as you harmonize with the beat of my everlasting truth. In this space of your life, I extend an everlasting invitation to bask in the radiance of my love, secure in the knowledge that nothing in all of creation can ever obstruct the restorative touch I am so ready to provide. Come back to the outskirts of Bethlehem with me in your prayers, because the night was thick with expectancy as a modest manger, unfit for a king, awaited my arrival. I came on the scene clothed in the frailty of an infant's body, but I was selected to usher in the greatest act of love the world would ever know. The expanse of heaven rang with jubilant prayer praising angels. Shimmering with heavenly light, announced a message that sparked the shepherds' hearts to racing as they lifted their voices in quiet wonder to God in the highest heaven. At first look, this scene didn't appear to be befitting the birth of a king, much less the architect of all the walls came from. Bridging the gap between grandeur and simple, amidst the beautiful scent of heaven and the dirty, hard floor, this moment defied all expectations. My choice was not based on happenstance, but on the fact that I, the one who holds the planets in orbit, decided to be born under these exact circumstances. Goal, I came into this world not to astonish the strong on earth, but to stand in solidarity with the downtrodden and the unappreciated, serving as a reminder to everyone that no one is too little, too pathetic, or too. I am shattered to accept your love. The shepherds, who were ordinary people frequently looked down upon, were among the first to understand the mystery unfolding when they saw the heavenly host. They were considered outsiders by the society of their day, but I dispatched heavenly messengers to tell them of my birth, and their wonder and respect shone brightly in the light of my announcement. Mirrored the real meaning of my coming, that I came to serve everyone, no matter their station in life. Even the lowest of them deserved my presence. Heaven's grandeur and earth's humility came together at this meeting, and my coming could not destroy it. A sacred junction was formed, changing the course of history forever. Looking beyond the humble confines of the manger, the unruly branches and the hay upon which I was laid, one might grasp the cosmic significance of my birth and the proclamation it made that long-awaited redemption had now arrived, coming to earth in human form. Prophets had spoken of this day, and generations had hoped for it. At that very moment, the weight of expectation and prophecy met the purity of. From the very beginning, my existence as a human being was a manifestation of the Eternal's decision to live among the mortals. The word had evolved into something more substantial. Skin. But you must not discount the sacramentality of the moment when my mother cradled me in plain garments and held me close, a seemingly mundane but deeply sacred deed. The gentle intimacy emphasizes my resolve to embrace the whole range of human emotion, every scream, every pang, and every feeling of the crisp night air on. I arrived in the quiet of that stable to emphasize that no heart is perfect, and my skin was a reflection of my readiness to meet you where you are. I didn't wait for a more accommodating welcome or a more ideal setting. I felt that my soul was too lost in the chaos and rusticity to really embrace the angel's proclamation of glory to God, which sounded like both a welcome and an invitation. At its very center, this infant lying in a feeding trough extends an invitation to humanity to see the wonder of God's plan to save creation. Was simultaneously the most powerful man in the world, the paradox serving as a constant reminder that I do not use earthly measures to gauge my authority. In the most unexpected of settings, and genuine holiness may emerge from the most humble of origins, My nativity encourages you to abandon assumptions and stare. In the midst of that pastoral setting, on the brink of the heavenly world and the marvel of vulnerability that unveils a love that may change hearts, the earthly one shrank in the little place of my birth, and the abundance of heavenly grace became real, not just a faraway promise, a live reality. Earth's birth, heralded by heavenly choirs and embraced in a delicate garment, sent shock waves across the cosmos, enthralling even the highest. Their music echoed through the ages, proclaiming that my entrance was both a sign of hope for humanity and a mystery that astonished angels, who asked me to remain humble so that they might hoist us up. A heartfelt appeal to all those in search of meaning and a monumental proclamation of cosmological reconciliation. See that sacred night in Bethlehem as a meeting place of awe and wonder. With each delicate breath, shimmering note of heavenly praise and speck of dust, I was there, and my birth was a gracious deed, demonstrating that I am not frightened to take up residence in your mundane moments, whether you're in the middle of a bustling metropolis or a desolate countryside. I have the same message to share with you. Redemption is here, around you. Through an act of charity that beyond rational thought, the stable represents how my presence can elevate even the most ordinary place. Appear to be in utter astonishment at this cosmic but very intimate occurrence. Let your heart to rejoice in the fact that the first, because of the interplay between the eternal and the transient, my birth is immensely sacred. It begs you to acknowledge that I am the King of glory who laid in a manger. Experience the warmth of that Christmas night inside you, a brightness that is both immeasurable and as close as your next breath. Its light continues to shine on hearts even now, bearing witness that salvation is not some faraway myth, but an actual breathing reality that is ready to welcome every yearning. I, Spirit, have come down from the throne of glory to walk among you, bridge an endless chasm with my compassionate footsteps. Now I ask you to climb too. In the stillness of reflection, you will discover that this invitation is more than just a word on paper. It is a declaration of my will for you to rise beyond the mundane and marvel at the marvels of my universe. May I, who once walked the humble road, now descend into your tale and offer you glimpses of eternal truths that may change your perspective on life and the universe. As you take a moment to seek my presence, your heart starts to resonating with the heavenly beats. It's as if I'm reaching out my hand to guide you to a place of spiritual nourishment and fresh vision. Realms brimming with my beauty, strength, and endless elegance are revealed when the veil of material vision is drawn aside, allowing you to see something greater. These brief instances may have a significant influence on your life. You may discover that your priorities shift, and things that were previously considered crucial no longer have the same level of importance. Standing at my throne brings tranquility and clarity. Even the simplest things may become meaningful when you understand that every breath is a chance to reflect my. Reflecting on love does not mean escaping from everyday life, but rather delving deeper into it. When I tell you to gaze above, it is not to avoid your duties or minimize your hardships. Rather, may these heavenly insights provide light on your journey, allowing you to see beyond the limitations of fear and concern. With their help, ordinary chores may become sacred acts of devotion, and difficulties can become opportunities for growth. Turn your obstacles into opportunities for progress. Looking at things from the perspective of eternity doesn't make your issues any less important, but it does put them in the bigger picture of my overall goal in this. In these times of ascending, my slide into your universe finds a magnificent match as you climb above the din of uncertainty, bolstered by my unwavering commitment. Concerns that previously occupied you may begin to diminish as trust takes root where irritation lived. Patience starts to blossom, and your soul softly reshapes your inner landscape. Life's difficulties may. As you seek solace in my unwavering presence, you will find that prayer is more than simply requesting answers. It is also a joy to draw near to me, allowing my thoughts to drift freely. Blend with yours until a sacred harmony occurs. This is the essence of communion, allowing my voice to break the stillness of your ears as I reveal truths that may revitalize your. May you be surprised to know that this upward journey is a direct result of the humility I shown by embracing your brokenness. By doing so, I was able to break down all the barriers that had previously separated us and set us free, without worrying that I would judge you. The grace that made me human so that you wouldn't have to is the same grace that will bring you heavenly reality. You will never achieve this on your own. The focus here is not on your merit, but on your willingness to commit your heart, thoughts, and goals to me. Think of contemplation as a continuous conversation in which you share your vulnerability, your inquiries, and even your feeling uncertain. I'll answer with revelations about my character, my heart, and my aims. This conversation will breathe fresh life into every aspect of you, kindles imagination, bravery, and empathy in ways you never imagined possible. And as time goes on, you begin to see things not only from your own vantage point, but also from my. The love you feel for others becomes stronger, the meaning you put into your job becomes more profound, and even your downtime becomes a precious opportunity to reconnect with. Dwelling in my presence is a choice to embrace an upward calling that reflects my own decline. It is an exchange of humility for glory, and it is the wellspring of all goodness. Heaven and earth meet in the depths of your heart, and you take that experience with you every day, bringing hope to areas where despair once reigned. In a time when hopelessness reigned, I elevate you not by strutting my stuff or showing off my admiration. Rather, I do it by weaving my existence into yours, so that you may mirror my misery. Even if you're still physically here on earth, your soul is exploring a realm where my love is realizing its full potential. I am supreme, and my serenity has no bounds. When you are ready to ascend, you will remember the lowly way I led you, and as I talk to you now, I want to remind you that I left behind the splendor of. Rather than clinging to heavenly riches or the adoration of many people, I sought heaven with the explicit intention of bringing you into my fullness. Instead, I picked a modest manger to symbolize the immeasurable love I have for each of you. By putting myself in a lowly position, I made it clear that you are my greatest value. Was never meant to be my personal solace, but your rescue, and the fact that you blessed me with a prosperous birth, despite my lowly circumstances, has been the first step in revealing the riches of your grace, compassion, and grace is a gift, a kindness bestowed upon you freely, with the potential to outweigh all monetary possessions. You are met with this grace as it threads through each tale of change, connecting your heart closer to my. Grace is the thread that keeps the tapestry of my kingdom together. When you're strong and triumphant, and when you're weak and broken and unable to raise your head, because I've drained myself of all celestial splendor, you may accept it freely. The boundless bounty I want to bestow upon you does not need any effort on your part. It is already at my disposal, patiently waiting for your receptive hands and willing heart, accompanied by grace. Mercy is a form of generosity that looks beyond your mistakes and provides forgiveness instead of judgment. No mistake is too big for me to extend my mercy to. When you're feeling guilty or ashamed, when you look into the lovely masterpiece I've created in my thoughts, my goal is always restoration, not punishment for punishment's sake. Grace to envelop you, releasing weights you were never intended to carry on your own. In my kingdom, grace is the path that connects remorse to renewal, beckoning you to embark on a life free from the shackles of your past. Hope is not just a hopeful attitude or a wishful thinking. It is a strong, unwavering belief that I am in control of everything. Confidence in me, which has been demonstrated time and time again in your life and in human history, is the anchor that allows you to see beyond the current storm and have confidence that I will lead you into calmer waters. Hope hangs to the sky like a beacon piercing the darkest night, telling you that no matter how bad things become, I will be at your side forever. No amount of trouble can put out the light that guides me. Grace, mercy, and hope are not things to be hoarded. They are experiences that should be lived. Embrace the depth of our connection, and you will find an alternative measure of riches in a society obsessed with status and material stuff. Heritage that cannot be taken or destroyed by any thief or natural disaster, so that even in the darkest of times you may take comfort in knowing that you are loved and remembered by the Creator of the universe. The key to staying put in my kingdom, unswayed by the ever-changing winds of earthly fortune, is to acquire this wisdom. Practice of selfless giving. Just as I have given you everything that I own, I command you to do the same for the people in your life. Forgive those who have harmed you, and show kindness to those who have mistreated you. Wisdom rather than bitterness, kindness rather than anger, mercy for those who can't change their ways, and hope for the hopeless by forgiving them as I have forgiven you. You demonstrate the abundance of my heart by doing these things, and my love grows via your words and deeds in those times. Redemption conquers everything. Join my heavenly economy where altruism yields more wealth than you could ever imagine, and always keep in mind that I do not judge your success by your bank account balance or your level of material possessions. Despite all the praise you get from others around you, my view is that what really matters is the love and compassion that shines from inside your heart. When you extend a helping hand to those who are less fortunate, when you console those who are grieving, you exhibit a treasure trove of everlasting value. While the world considers greatness in terms of power and influence, I see it in terms of your profound bond with me is the source of all the wonderful and faultless gifts I bestow upon you. I may have slept in a manger amid earthly poverty once, but it in no way reflects It was a proclamation of the wealth I plan to impart to you, wealth that is unconstrained by time and circumstance. I cordially welcome you to join in this. As you yield to the realities of my kingdom, may my grace calm your fears, my mercy ease your loads, and my hope strengthen your determination. When your heart is in harmony with mine, you share in the riches that flow forth, enriching not just your own life, but the lives of countless others as well. Others, and so I command you to go fearlessly, secure in the knowledge that I have provided everything that you need to bear witness to the boundless riches of I ask you to make a resounding prayer, as you allow love elevate your heart, and a song of praise rise from your spirit, reverberating through the very corridors of your soul. Imagine this Cree song as a sacred bridge between the limited and the limitless, a hymn that echoes with wonder and appreciation. In your humble but profound prayer, you proclaim that I am deserving of all praise and thanksgiving, transcending the merry-go-round of the holiday season. As you sing this hallelujah, keep in mind the astounding reality that I am a vessel for the divine, and let your song serve as an ode to your burning desire to commune with the divine. I am a child of Bethlehem, and the eternal Word has chosen to live among you. I, the Almighty, who have been here from the beginning of time, am the one whose presence has touched the annals of humanity. Even though I came from a lowly background, my authority over that manger has never been undermined. Mysteries from heaven have entered the realm of human experience because when you sing your praises, you unite with me. In the company of shepherds who were the first to learn of my arrival, of travelers led by the light of a star, and of angels who announced my birth to anybody who will listen during your times of contemplation. Think about the manner in which my entrance united the earth and heaven in a manner that broke old limits. The divine was no longer a faraway world. I became. Deep throughout the tapestry of human history, with every hallelujah you sing, you honor the awe-inspiring beauty of this fusion as your mortal. Fleeting form transforms. an everlasting declaration of an unfathomable truth, the eternity of my being, filled with optimism as it touched the simplicity of your world, illuminating secret corners. So, the weight of your compliments is far heavier than that of empty platitudes. It's a declaration that we've crossed a threshold. This summons to worship is also an beckoning to relax. Genuine relaxation is more than just a physical. Calmness is the emotional condition you reach when you let go of the desire to manage every detail and have faith in my steadfast love. Result: when you take a moment to reflect on the fact that I protect the universe, you may end your racing thoughts of how at the end of a hard day on the job, the body discovers restorative slumber, just like your soul gets peace when it lies on my dedication to you via releasing your cares. You recognize that. I can take care of things completely, so you can let your heart be free of the weight of fears. Do not equate this relaxation with inactivity. Rather, find solace in my love. Signifies you are receptive to my direction and prepared to take action when I speak it. Develops a calm demeanor instead of a tense one, a posture of trust instead of anxious fretting while you are under my care. In the face of adversity, I am more powerful than you can imagine, and I will show you this strength. Praise be to God. The positivity you express will be sincere and not phony. Rather, it will be a confession of your virtue is unchanging and unaffected by circumstances, and this praise is a consistent expression of that fact. Changes you on the inside, molding your spirit to mirror the splendor and resiliency of heaven all the way through the highs and lows of life. Always keep in mind that you are my anchor. Your world is often characterized by broken relationships and dashed dreams. Regardless of how the wind and tides shift, I will always be the rock, center of gravity that keeps everything in motion, making sure that nothing goes beyond my have the capacity to restore the same power that stooped in a manger is still in charge of the universe. A voice that was once quiet and serene in a stable still maintains. You do not adore an intergalactic empire. Therefore, when you sense the tension of discord or uncertainty, rise your hallelujah. Divinity, but rather an ever-present living presence. Take, for example, the testimony of nature. As a result of my sustaining force, the planet experiences dormancy and rebirth at regular intervals. Seasons changing, flowers dying and then blooming again. Even in the darkest of nights, these cycles prevail. Rivers freeze and thaw, to reflect the reality that I am always working to breathe fresh life into things that seem dead or unresponsive if the scenery of your life seems barren, just keep in mind that I have also traversed paths of difficulty and heartache. I understand what it's like to be human. Therefore, I lead you with compassion and understanding, knowing that the scope of your celebration extends beyond the here and now as you rejoice in a faith that is firmly grounded in eternal belongingness, not isolation. May your hallelujah be a constant refrain. Nomad, I have claimed you as my own as I go off on my journey through life by myself, cherished, seen, and pleasantly acquainted with the most basic acts of compassion. When Shar laughed with friends, while quietly weeping for her sins, my love remains an anchor for you. For as long as there has been time, I have kept you close to my heart, and I will do the same now. Forever, this connection does not need elaborate ceremonies or flawless performances. All it wants is a heart that affirms, yes, Lord, I am loved by you. Now I will sing with all my might and have your. No matter how loud or soft your voice is, it should never be preoccupied with impeccable phraseology or melodic nuance, the authenticity of your emotions. Every time you sing, Hallelujah is the tune that makes me happiest. You become a part of a harmonious arrangement that is both timeless and new, like the morning and the universe itself. The dedication that was once hailed in fields outside of Bethlehem is now recognized by the angels, and your own spirit vibrates with them, receiving sustenance from the adoration it was fashioned to provide, and I, your eternal. Dear beloved, I send you this anthem with joy and love in return. Here and now, while you take a breather from the constant flow of life, embrace the truth. In my proximity, you will find the great word that formed the universe and the little one who once inhaled the earth's dust. I sit atop the throne of everlasting glory. However, as these realities intersect, I have lived among scavenging animals and coarse straw. May amazement fill your heart and intellect as you contemplate the stars that my hands fashioned. These same hands reach out to you, extending them in a gesture of optimism, a sense of completeness and tranquility that is beyond what humans can understand in the end. Let your rejoice in the oneness of God, the Father and the Son, the lowly infant of Bethlehem, the Alpha and the Omega, as you sing the Hallelujah song. This proclamation is not about Omega, who will one day dry your tears. Not limited to just one time or location, it serves as a living testimony to be a part of our bond through the everyday and the monumental, in the same way that you may let compliments influence your outlook during the last chorus of everything. In the future, your invention will echo, and you will be one of many voices. I will always be eternally thankful for the unfaltering love that led you through the Nativity to eternal life.